information is that we have had some kind of a gentleman's agreement between ourselves and the unions to meet today at 10 o'clock so that we can try to see if we can resolve this matter. So I'm confident, I would say cautiously confident, that before the end of business today, we might be closer to where we should be compared to the previous days.
So there's light at the end of the tunnel, if one can use that pun.
100%.
What action would you then take if this continues? What action would you then take? It's an illegal strike. What will happen to striking workers who would have downed tools today?
Well, we have obtained a court interdict last night, basically prohibiting anyone from going on strike or picketing or marching and demonstrating, anything to that sort. So essentially, today we're expecting all 47,000 people who are working for Eskom to report for work. However, if it does happen that some people do not rock up for work for whatever reason, then they will have to account to their managers as to where they are. And therefore, the normal internal processes will kick in so that we can nip that matter in the bud.
Now, of course, this forms part of essential services here in South Africa. It's essential for us to keep the lights on, to keep business working, and so forth. Just explain to the viewers, I think, Mr. Pasiwe, what does it mean for Eskom to be seen as essential services, and how does this affect the workers there?
And it's also important to note that this status of essential service provider is not a status we have accorded ourselves.
Yes.
The country itself, through the Labour Relations Act, Section 71, has accorded Eskom that status to say our services are essential and therefore our members, all of our employees, are not supposed to go on strike. Obviously, they are able to mobilize and continue to engage with management to make sure that whatever issues they have, they can be resolved amicably. And especially through the normal processes that have been set by the Labour Court, especially through the CCMA and things like that. So that's where we are. In fact, to be honest with you, I think the strike action by NUM is possibly premature, or maybe for them it's sort of negotiations through other means, because last week we met on Monday, and we obviously there was a deadlock. The CCMA is now in the process of giving us another date for us to continue the mediation, and this is in addition to today's meeting at 10 o'clock where we're going to take the matter forward. So technically the negotiations have not collapsed yet, and that's why we are confident that very soon, I'm sure, we will resolve this matter.
It seems as if the negotiations are taking place in a positive spirit. When you talk about a little bit earlier about gentleman's agreement that have been reached in order for you guys to try and resolve this impasse today, you're very hopeful because the gap is not that big.
The gap is not that big. Initially, we were offering 5%, but because we were negotiating, still are negotiating in good faith, we upped our offer from 5% to 5.5%, and then at some point we increased it to 5.75%, and then later on 7%, and right now as I speak to you, between 7 and 9%. And the good news is that the unions are also willing to sort of revise their position. They are now saying they are demanding between 8 and 9%. So we are getting closer to where we should be, and I'm sure before long we should be able to resolve this issue.
Now, you saw the report that was played just before we started the conversation. It spoke about your contingency should this go ahead. Can you tell us about that contingency by now, or not yet?
Not yet. The reason being that contingency measures essentially are, I suppose, our secret plan, essentially, to make sure that we keep the lights on. So if we reveal it, then obviously it may scupper our plans, and therefore we don't want to go there. But however, at this stage, I would like to emphasize that all our operations, especially people who started early shifts this morning, were not affected. Late last night, though, there was a group of about 50 people who were trying to blockade the entrance of the Matla power station. The police were there to deal with the situation. So far, things are looking good, but we'll continue to monitor the situation as the day progresses.
And the date for the anticipated bail application by murder-accused Warrona Mark Zinde will only be determined on the 12th of next month by the Brits Magistrate Court in the Northwest. This will, however, depend on the findings by the Veskopi Psychiatric Hospital, where Zinde is currently undergoing mental observation. Zinde is accused of murdering his mother and former SABC board member Hope Zinde on the 13th of June. It's alleged the police found him in possession of drugs during the arrest. During his court appearance in June, the court heard of his drug problem. At the time of the murder, his mother was planning to put him in a rehabilitation center. The defense had asked that he be admitted for mental observation for 30 days. The hospital has, however, asked for another 30 days for further observation. The matter is postponed to the 12th of September. And the state has called its first witness in South Africa's biggest illicit diamond dealing case to date at the Kimberley High Court. The case involves 13 business people. They're facing several charges of racketeering and contravening the Diamond Act. The first state witness is a former